Welcome back to Random Tek. Today we are going to be talking about the various mechanical hard drives of Apple iPods. Why? Because it's random. This video idea came to me while I was on a random internet binge and happened to stumble across iPod hard drives replacements. I came across rockbox.com, which is a third-party firmware for various MP3 players. The interesting thing is they list the various types of hard drives iPods have used over the years, which got me thinking. Apple's very first iPod, also known as the iPod Classic, released in 2001, included a 1.8-inch mechanical hard drive. This integrated drive electronics, or IDE for short, hard drive, had a miniature 50-pin connector which plugged directly into the iPod's logic board. These drives were essentially a scaled-down version of a regular 44-pin, 2.5-inch IDE hard drive, but with 6 extra pins. 4 of the extra pins were reserved for manufacturers' use, and the other 2 pins were key pins. Since all 6 of these pins were not actually necessary for the drive's use, you can make a simple cable adapter to connect these 1.8-inch drives to a standard 2.5-inch and 3.5-inch connector. Many companies, such as Adonix, did just this. While the storage capacity of these hard drives grew, the same connector style was used in the iPod Classic first generation, second generation, third generation, and fourth generation. Just as a quick note, a desktop 3.5-inch IDE hard drive would have 40 pins, while a laptop 2.5-inch IDE hard drive would have 44 pins. The extra 4 pins was to carry power, as a 3.5-inch drive would get powered separately. Now let's test out one of these hard drives I got from eBay. I also purchased a 50-pin enclosure from syntech.com to easily attach the drive to my computer. Looking in the bag, we got the actual hard drive enclosure, a leather carrying bag, a micro USB cable, and a screwdriver to fasten everything together. The enclosure feels like typical cheap plastic, but actually seems to look pretty good. Opening it up, we see that it splits into 3 pieces and contains the very tiny fastening screws inside, along with a piece of double-sided tape to hold the hard drive down. As you can see, the drive fits firmly into the shell. The fun part was trying to fasten the extremely tiny screws, which took some time. Skipping ahead, we can see the final product. So the big question is, does the drive work? Yes it does. That is the sound of a happy drive spinning. I attached it to my computer to double check and it shows up fine and I am able to read and write to it no problem. In 2004, Apple released the iPod mini. With the iPod mini, Apple switched to using 1-inch Microdrives, which was a compact flash Type 2 variant. Compact flash, and therefore as such microdrives, originated as a subset of the PCMCIA, Personal Computer Memory Card International Association, also known as the PC card, and was introduced by SanDisk, though many companies joined the standard. Compact flash used 50 pins of the 68 pins the PC card used. This meant that compact flash drives were backwards compatible with PC cards, and adapters did exist for this. At the same time, compact flash is based on the IDE interface and can enter true IDE mode when pin 9 is grounded on its 50-pin connector. It is this reason that many people use compact flash as a more modern, stable, and faster solution for their older computers, which could only support the IDE interface. Apple continued with the Microdrive in the second generation of iPod mini before discontinuing the line. I wanted to get an enclosure again for this hard drive, but I couldn't seem to find any. If you know of one similar to the first enclosure, please leave a comment down below. I ended up getting a Kingston Monty card reader, which supports the Type 2 variant of CF cards, which oftentimes these readers only support the Type 1 variant. Plugging in the hard drive, we again find it working well and being able to read and write from my computer. Back to the iPod Classic, which in 2005, Apple released their 5th generation. This generation included a mechanical hard drive that had a different connector, and that is a ZIF 40. ZIF standing for zero insertion force, and 40 standing for the number of pins. ZIF sockets were not new and can be seen on a variety of products, but one of the more common uses is processor sockets, where you simply drop the processor into the slot and clip it in. The ZIF connector also changed to a ribbon cable, allowing for smaller sockets and cleaner connections. While the connector type changed, the interface was still IDE, and many adapters existed between the two. For this type of drive, I was again able to purchase a very similar enclosure from syntech.com. It came with a carrying bag, cable, screws, and tape again, but weirdly no screwdriver this time. Oh well, we still have it from the first drive. Once again, a happy hard drive. Apple's final iPod to feature a mechanical drive was the iPod Classic 6th generation, released in 2007. This drive's interface was different yet again, as it used CE-ATA, which stands for Consumer Electronics Advanced Technology Attachment. This interface was born as the industry's response for providing an optimized standard interface for small form factor storage solutions in handheld, portable, and consumer electronic applications. Basically, before this, manufacturers had no choice but to force fit what was essentially a PC-based technology into the smaller, more portable storage devices, such as the before-mentioned iPod drives, or use the more expensive at the time flash memory storage option, with generally lower storage space. The CE-ATA interface standard was derived from MMC, aka Multimedia Card, with the addition of ATA commands. While the member list was pretty extensive, the key promoters of the interface included Hitachi, Intel, Marvell, Nokia, Seagate, Toshiba, and of course Apple. The CE-ATA standard was relatively short-lived, and the committee was terminated in 2008, as the industry moved on to other technologies such as SATA. Unfortunately, the drive enclosure I was going to buy from Syntec.com was out of stock and seemed to be discontinued according to them, so I had to buy an enclosure from Taobao instead. Unlike all the other enclosures, this one did not come with any accessories and had a snap lock instead of screws, which was pretty difficult to open. It was at this moment that I ran into a problem. The drive, for whatever reason, would not fit into the case, no matter how I positioned it. And believe me, I attempted for about 10 minutes, trying all different ways to try and get it to fit. So I had to leave it unsnapped as shown. Nonetheless, does the drive work after all of this? Well, that's not a good sound. However, after a little bit, the drive did come to life, at least temporarily, and I was able to access it from my computer. Though I don't think the drive is long for this world. Obviously, Apple had far more iPods than just 2 types. So what storage media did the other iPods use? The answer is flash memory. Over the years, flash memory has become more and more mainstream, which has led to great price reductions for the technology, as well as extended lifespans with the introduction of trim and other internal garbage collection, which leads to less wear of the media. Flash memory also had the ability to withstand physical abuse that consumers could encounter, such as accidentally dropping your device. Much better due to no moving parts like the traditional hard drives had. Still, up until the very end of the iPod line, the storage space was nowhere near that of the iPod Classic, which helped it live on for such a long time. That concludes another video. Let me know in the comments which mechanical hard drive you liked the best. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.